Hey, what's up? Back again.
That first bass note hit me in the chest, and I was just like, there's no way that's 2/8.
MBEnclosures has his own YouTube channel, and this guy is an animal when it comes to designing boxes.
Woo! Understanding TS parameters the MBE way. Now, take this with a grain of salt because I am not a cool engineer. This is just the way I have taken over the years to how to understand the numbers in a way that makes sense to me when I want to pick out a driver, or particularly see what kind of enclosure I want to put in based on what they say what the recommendation is. Okay. And what base Pro Box 6 is. Some people use WinS ISD. But how can you do just a quick snap check and look at the QMS and say, hey man, what is a QMS? What is a QMS? The QMS is the quantitative measurement of the speaker suspension system. Basically. Now, the mechanical suspension system is comprised of two parts. The surround and the spider. They both job is to bring the woofer back to zero, which is the most important number in the cycle, or the important spot. Following your way back to zero, whether you done went 19 millimeters forward or 19 millimeters backwards in creating a signal, can you find zero? When you're not on the power of the electrical signal, which would be the QMS, and we'll get that to another video. When you're on the solely, when you must rely solely on the QMS, can you bring the woofer back to rest? Because a cycle is made, one cycle, forward, back to rest, past rest, and back to rest. The spider and surround must work together to make sure that happens. And how you read that number is different. It's a unitless measurement. So it's a lot of factors that they use in relation to, like how heavy is the MMS that is having to move. And I think it's something else that I can't remember. The vascular, the QMS, which is based on, I believe, the vascularity, which is based on how far you're away from sea level. So a lot of those factors can change. So the QMS value is really a scale that you can use between 1 and 10. Look at that number like that, with 0.5 being the least mechanically inclined to get back to zero, and 10 being the best. So you would want a higher number. Now, some of you are going to say, well, this woofer doesn't have a high number. He's not even 7. He's not even 8, 9, or 10. Well, how does that make him good? Because you cannot look at this one TS parameter and say, okay, well, he's got a high QMS, so he's a bad subwoofer. No, you got to take that in relation with how much does the MMS weigh and the force in the gap. You got to look at it all together. But the way of looking at the QMS is you do want a high number. You do want a high number, but sometimes the number, the QMS may be lower, but there's other things to consider as well, and say even though it's lower on a scale of 1 to 10, it's pretty high based on how much the MMS weighs, or whoa, if the MMS weighs that, which is the total of all the soft parts and the air load weight upon it, and it's not able to move that, well, what else is controlling it? But just remember, the QMS is on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest number and 0.5 being the less. And when you look at the woofer's QMS, on average, you want that to be high. Peace. Get in if you need a box. 404-694-4818. Listen responsibly.